Welcome everyone. This is Michael Jacob at twitch.tv/darkest_mage with a traditional sealed event. This is best of 3, where you open 6 packs and you have to create your best 40 card minimum deck, and you play best of 3s until you get 4 wins or 2 losses. A lot of competitive level events are sealed, and it is significantly different than drafts. So hopefully we'll be able to learn a few things, because the qualifier is this weekend. The important things to note here is we have Godric, Frantic Firebolt, and Cut-In, and 2 Frenzies, so red is definitely on the table. You have 3 Shatter the Oats, but unless I have enough the Beanstalk, which I do not, that's gonna be a little bit tough to support. Let's see. So we're definitely gonna be red. So we can just go ahead and put these red cards in there. So what we need are 2 drops. And that's basically it. Black gives us Candy Grapple and a 2-drop, but basically nothing else. 3 Shatter the Oats, or whatever. Green gives us Root Rider Fawn, which is the premier 2-drop, but not much else. Still a possibility. We also have the combo of Virtue of Strength and Godric, which is kind of sweet. Red-white gives us a creature land, and also maybe potentially splash green. You have Ginger Broods for early drops, potentially. Prophetic Prism as a 2-drop, potentially. We're definitely playing the Grotto. Definitely playing this. Even if we're not playing white, we're playing Restless Biovac. Let's look at white. White gives us a 2-drop. Unassuming Sage, not really. Princess Takes Flight with no bargain? That's sketchy. Our white looks pretty bad. I mean, we have 1 Archon's Glory, 1 Kellen's Lightblades. Those are pretty bad ones. Although, Return Triumphant is very good with Godric. It also gives us Grasp of Fate. White's on the table. What does blue give us? Is this a 2-drop? No, blue is... Blue's not happening. So I guess black also has Dream Thief, although I'm not a huge fan of this card. It is a lot better with Witchstalker Frenzy in your deck to make it cost 1 mana a lot of the time. Also, Not Dead After All. Potentially good with Merry Bards. Potentially good with Godric. We also have Conceited Witches. Reasonable cards. Got some really... Oh, I guess we have Fairy Fencing for the Fairy Dream Thief. Oh, no other fairies is kind of suspicious. So let's go ahead and start looking at let's look at what some possibilities are. So let's look at red-white real quick, just to make sure that it's not better than it looks. So this is what red-white would be. It's nice that we have the creature land. Probably play the Charmed Clothier. And probably play a Prophetic Prism. Now, we have 1 treasure, and this could potentially splash a card of another color. We're looking at maybe Yenna. Yenna is a pretty good magic card. But Yenna has some good hits too. It's got Hopeful Vigil, and it's got a bunch of rolls, and it's got Grasp of Fate and Princess Takes Flight, and it's got some good hits. So Yenna is a possibility. I don't know if I'd play a forest. Maybe we play a forest. Not a huge fan of Collector's Vault. I'm kind of off that card. Could potentially play a forest. Could also play Moment of Heroism. Say we play the Yenna. So that's what this deck looks like. It doesn't look bad. Doesn't look great. Doesn't look bad. Yeah, the Yenna seems fine off Crystal Grotto, Forest, Prophetic Prism, and Redcap Thief. That's more than enough sources. Yeah, this doesn't, like, look amazing. So I'd probably be looking to see if some other color combination ends up being a better choice. What else do we have? So blue is definitely off the table. Blue has nothing. So black has Not Dead After All, Candy Grapple, Monstrosity, some Witches, Grim Search, lots of Terminates. Ooh, we have Twisted Sewer Witch with one Ratcatcher trainee. Fewer than I would like to play that card. Fairy Fencing, I think, is generally pretty bad. I'd rather not play it. Gnawing Crescendo could give us some rats, but I don't think we're really that aggro. Ginger Brutes are okay with Conceited Witch. And the Young Hero role, which we have 2 of those. So I'm potentially not against playing Ginger Brute. Don't need the Prism unless we're splashing another card, which in this case would be Johan. Now, Johan is a good card. I'm definitely not against splashing that one. Definitely not against that. We have a lot of good hits for that one. Maybe... Whew. This is certainly something. We also have the Not Dead After All Twisted Sewer Witch Wombo combo. I mean, it's not really a wombo combo. It is something that you can do that is reasonable, but... Don't know if I'd want Unruly Catapult. There's Warehouse Tabby, but don't really have that many enchantments. I guess we have like 3 Shatter the Oaths. This is Red-Black Terminate stat deck. We would definitely want to draw 2, which is what Johan would be. This is definitely the type of deck that Johanna is excellent in. It's also a reason to run Not Dead After All. Maybe you wouldn't want as many of these, like, middling cards. Crystal Grotto does heavy lifting. No, Crystal Grotto is just a great card. Frantic Firebolt. Probably good enough. Could maybe cut a Shatter the Oath. I'm not sure that Shatter the Oath is worse than Frantic Firebolt in this deck. Instance with Johan is nice. Could maybe cut a 5-drop here. I mean, this deck certainly has plenty of Terminates, right? So... The Not Dead After All just excels with Johan and Godric and Twisted Sewer Witch. Like, those are 3 great hits for it. Which sort of incentivizes me to play it. I mean, it's actually okay with Monstrosity as well. It's, like, not great. But... let's see. Let's see. So we take out 1 Shatter the Oath. We can actually do... It's just a little magic trick. You can go to T:(CR and it separates it by creatures. Gives you a more realistic view on what your curve looks like. The Merry Bards are suspicious, but they do allow a rat to be a young hero, which is probably better than what Conceited Witch is offering us. Could also maybe make our Monstrosity young hero. It's also a way to turn on Celebration for a Godric. So maybe we can cut a Conceited Witch here. Under no circumstances would I cut Scream Puff. That card is excellent. And then after that, we have the option of taking Hopeless Nightmare or Frantic Firebolt. Hopeless Nightmare has basically no synergy in the deck outside of maybe scrying for Johan. it is perhaps potentially just a good magic card. It's like, you know, a little bit of Synergy with Celebration, but not really. Like, Rowan's Grim Search and Hopeless Nightmare is actually not much of a combo. Is there like anything else? I really don't like Fairy Dream Thief. It is a lot better with 2 Witchstalker Frenzies. I just don't like it. If I'm not playing these Conceited Witches to put an aura on it. I mean, I guess it is a good recipient of the 2 young heroes we have. Alright, maybe it's a good recipient of that. I like it more than Hopeless Nightmare. Also helps us get to 3 mana more often. I like that. Yeah, it's a flyer that can hold one of our 2 young hero roles. I mean, I'm on board with that. So here we can take out either, I think either a Frantic Firebolt or a Shatter the Oath is our last card. Kind of interested in taking out maybe Shatter the Oath. Another 5-drop. Frantic Firebolt's going to be 2 damage a lot of the time, but not too much of the time. This seems like the most reasonable build. Obviously, I'd do this. Actually, this looks right. I guess I have 3 double black cards, but I also have a double red card. This is sort of a double red card, but not really. But we have black 1-drops, though. This is probably reasonable. No, 16 lands is never a consideration. Unless you're playing green. Conceited Witch does work better with Johann, and that is a consideration. It does work better. It works better than Mary Barge with Johann, but I think Fairy Dream Thief wants me to play as many young hero roles as I can. Yes. The creature lands are excellent cards. You always play them. As long as you can somehow backdoor the mana, you always play them. And there's no reason to see why you wouldn't be able to backdoor the mana. Yeah, so we could play a Hopeless Nightmare over the Not Dead After All, but I think we have too many good targets for this. So this looks good to me. I think I'm just gonna run with this. Green does have Blossoming Tortoise and Tanglespan Lookout. And Yenna has like 3 like pretty decent cards. But like not much else going on. Not compared to black with all these Terminates. So let's go with this. I'm considering actually... I wonder if it's right to just not play an island and play a swamp instead. Then we just have a treasure, a grotto, and a prism to cast Johann. It's like a half source too few. If I had one more treasure maker, I'd probably make that play. We will play first. Not a great hand, but not a horrendous hand. Just middling hand. Okay, Fairy Dream Thief would be a reasonable draw. I see. I guess we want to do this now so they can't celebrate. Celebrate a Godric or something. Or save it with a royal treatment, perhaps. Fair enough. Oh, you want a Witchstalker Frenzy into turn. Let's see. Let's do this main phase because we might hit Fairy Dream Thief. Did not. Or Prophetic Prism are both cards we could have drawn. Alright. Very close. Firebolt almost big enough. Okay, that happened. Maybe they need the bargain. Really wish they had played something. Wish I had an enchantment in play. So I can exile, so I can scry too. Do I want to play the land? There's lots of discard effects in the format, so I'm not heavily incentivized to play the land. Let's attack here and see what they do. Okay, nothing. But they might have a way to give it hexproof, and we would need to blow it up in response. So I guess I need to play the land just in case. Put a stop on my end step, see what they do. They hit 4 spells? Ruan's Grim Search hit 4 spells? They put 2 spells in the graveyard. Oh, you're right that this would be on the stack, so it wouldn't count for Firebolt. So if they had the Hexproof card, I'd still be boned. Good call. Did think about that. Do we want to play Monstrosity and put the counter on this instead? This could go worse or better, depending what happens. So I can actually let this happen, or I can just counter it by doing this. I'd rather, I think, I want to counter it. So the disadvantage of countering it is that I don't get my two auras. But I get to kill 2 4/3s instead of 2 auras, so it's worth it, I guess. Although it's bad if they have another Hamlet Glutton. Potentially when they block at 18, maybe I should have known they had it. But my attack, my playing of this card was probably bad. I should have just passed priority. That's alright. Definitely should have just passed priority. My fault. Like, when they're at 18 life, and like, why would they not just take it? There's no reason for them to trade, so it's Clearly they had another one. Oh, I should just main phase this. What am I doing? I guess I'm rewarded for not main phasing it. We want to gain 3 life? I think we do. Is this blocked or not? It's not blocked? Okay. You fake blocked? Okay. Do we want to deal 2 damage or leave open Candy Grapple? I think we want to leave open Candy Grapple. Okay. Let's see. So Shatter the Oath is better than some of these burn spells against Hamlet Glutton. They have a Spectre Mortality, which was, you know, whatever that game. Hopeless Nightmare is potentially good here. What do we feel about Not Dead After All? I know I have it, so maybe just knowledge of me having it means that this is probably not the right call. Maybe something like a Warehouse Tabby would be better. Although the Warehouse Tabby would make more sense if I played... I mean, Warehouse Tabby is bad against the Spectre Immortality, so maybe we just don't want to do that. Maybe we just want to Shatter the Oath instead. Reasonable. Question is, do we want the rest of this night, the Hopeless Nightmare? It's a grindy matchup. Maybe just make them lose 2 life. Scry 2 is going to be good for us. This Belligerent of the Ball is a whole lot of 3 mana 3/3. Is it actually better than Conceited Witch? It actually might not be. I feel like this Belligerent of the Ball is pretty unlikely to actually be anything other than a 3/3 for 3. So maybe this actually should have been the main deck. Maybe we shouldn't have even been playing the Belligerent of the Ball. Second land, obviously we'd keep. Even if we had a Fairy Dream Thief, we'd probably keep this. If one of these non-lands was a Fairy Dream Thief, because we had a Prism. Reasonable hand. I think when you get rid of one of the 5-drops... Screen Buff is honestly probably going to be better than Twisted Sewer Witch in this matchup. I know we have the Ratcatcher Trini. If I didn't have the Ratcatcher Trini, it obviously wouldn't be close. I don't think this is the matchup for Sewer Witch to excel in. I don't think I can shuffle my deck. So whatever card is going in the bottom is gone for good. I think Screen Puff is more likely to be good. We also have Spectre Mortality, which maybe this is like, this is good against, this isn't. Alright, I'm gonna... That just shows how much I don't really like Twisted Sewer Witch. Excellent draw. I didn't turn 1 Grotto because I don't know what I need, so. Do I want this card? Weirdly enough, I actually don't think I do. I think I want a 5th land. I've already got a Witch Stalker Frenzy. This is only for 2 damage. I think we actually don't want it. Interesting. Well, Frantic Firebolt would have been great here. We could attack, kill the Lightness Looter with our Witch Stalker Frenzy. That doesn't seem unreasonable, because Lightness Looter is always going to be the best creature, and it is also a looter. The thing is, if I Crystal Grotto and see a swamp on top, am I keeping it? That's why I don't want a Crystal Grotto here, because I don't know whether I want a land or a spell. Like, if I see Shatter the Oath, am I keeping it? I don't know. It's so much more mana efficient if I just sit here and let them loot one time. But they also have the Somnomancer. Like, they have that one in the blue, like... Yeah. We also take 3 damage if we do that. I'm going to attack. I'm going to attack and frenzy this. I think they have too many cards that key off that for me to let it live. Reasonable. Okay, now I know what I want. It's probably... They're gonna go search for Hamlet Glutton and play it, right? So this is not what I want. Right? Although they're gonna have a 5/5 the following turn. Am I just dead? I just take 6. So they're gonna go search for Hamlet Glutton, play it, or they're gonna go search for the 1 on a black 5/5. Oh. Okay, well. I was gonna play this and Wicked roll on it. I thought I had timeout, I guess I didn't. That's too bad. They have Goosemouth. Okay. That doesn't seem better to me than... This does actually seem better to me than... And McGlutton here. The Twisted Sewer Witch would have done nothing this game. Well, that's not good news. That's probably game. Oh, that's game. Enemy has a lot of rares and uncommons. We have a lot of removal, but we don't have a lot of draw twos. That rat out really got us. That was unpleasant. Maybe when we want to take out this monstrosity and put in a belligerent of the ball. We are on the play. We just want a creature with high toughness. Alright. Maybe a case to be made to take out the island for a swamp. But not a great hand, but I think we have to keep it, unfortunately. We're going to bend any card that's not a land. I guess we keep Prism. We'll keep Prophetic Prism if it's there, but anything outside of Prophetic Prism we're bending. But this is not a great hand. We definitely need a third land to function. But Favorite Dream Thief does help us get to that third land. So. Hopefully they don't have a rat out here. Looks like they don't have it. I did miss a damage, but I got to check if they had rat out or not by attacking. Wow. Good to do this next turn looking for a land. That is a confident play from our opponent. A bold, confident play. This has actually been my experience with this card, by the way. It has underperformed. So do I want to play Firebolt, or do I want to play Witchstalker Frenzy here? This can kill Hammock Glutton, this can't. It's going to take some work to get this to kill Hammock Glutton. Do we need to play it now? We have no other plays, and we're not going to let them resolve. We're not going to let them just like have it in play. That creature is going to be bigger than anything that's going to happen for the rest of the game. I need to kill it now. Although, maybe there was a case to hold on to the Frenzy because Goose is a 5/5 there. Maybe I should have held on to it because of Goose. I didn't think about that. That was a mistake. Well, we weren't punished, so that's good. got the combo of double striking and our screen puff, so. That's right, they can bargain for Glut if I let them untap with that. It's a really good call. I still think I should have used this instead of the Frenzy, because they could have untapped and played Goose. But yeah, you're right. Them not being able to bargain away the aura is actually super important. I'm going to play tapped, kind of a dagger here. Mm-hmm. Red Cap Thief into Johan seems pretty good here. Could have attacked with a rat. If they put 6/6 on this and then 5/4 on the rat, I don't actually want to firebolt this, right? Playing Johan does not seem bad. Gotta be concerned about them having Spectre Mortality, which we know there's in their deck. They have 4 creatures in here. I think I just need to attack with all. I think I have to attack with all here. Okay. Yeah, they have Spectre. Yep. That was always going to happen, so I forced them to do it and blow up their own Firefox, so this is fine. We could use the treasure to attack with our guy and put a counter on itself. I don't think we need to. Oh, we're a mana short. Put a stop on our upkeep. Hopefully they kill the rat catcher. If they do, we can get the goose mother. Did we save our rat? I don't think so. We just let this happen and they're gonna hit the rat catcher, right? There's like no way they don't kill the rat catcher. So we were rewarded for not using our frenzy earlier, for keeping Firebolt instead of frenzy. We're gonna be mana stuck next turn. I thought we boarded this out. Did we not board it out? No, we kept it in as a 3/3. That's right, we boarded it back in. Is that lethal? Oh, it doesn't have haste. It's not a Medanza creator. Yeah, it doesn't have. It doesn't have haste. Restless Biovac. Creature land. Yeah, if they had hit our rat catcher, if they had hit our rat instead of, if they had punched our rat, or even Johan instead of the rat catcher, they might have won that game. In fact, they definitely would have won that game, right? The greed. So, do we want to change anything in our deck? We have a Conceited Witch and a 2 Shatter the Oaths and our Hopeless Nightmare we can still play. Warehouse Tabby could has some synergy with Twisted Sewer Witch, but we don't have a ton of enchantments in our deck. The Belligerent of the Ball is the card that's the most suspicious, right? We can just cut that one for a Conceited Witch. This is just, I mean, it's just going to be a 3/3. It's just, we're not really a celebration deck. Plus, the Conceited Witch works with Johan, so that's like a huge synergy bonus there. Plus, it also makes our Fairy Dream Thief better. So another question is, do we want Not Dead After All, or do we want a Warehouse Tabby? Unfortunately, or we could also play Hopeless Nightmare instead. Something to keep in mind is that, unfortunately, all the Enchantment Matters cards are, because of the way the rules of Magic work, creatures are put into the graveyard, and then auras that are attached are put in afterwards as a state-based action. Which means all of the creatures that trigger whenever an enchantment goes to the graveyard, if they are enchanted with an aura and they die, they do not trigger. If it was put on another creature, it would trigger, right? So if there was a card that said destroy all enchantments and creatures, it would trigger. Unfortunately, anything that just destroys creatures, including damage, will not allow any of these Enchantment Matters cards to draw a card or have their effect happen. Cards like the Knight of Doves, the Warehouse Tabby, the Ashiok's Reaper, Neva, right? All those cards that have enchantment dies on it don't work when they have auras themselves, which I think is unfortunately the way the game is made. That's just that those are just the way the rules work. It is certainly a form of dissonance in this set, and I think might be the reason why it actually I think is the reason black-white is perhaps a couple percentage points worse than every other color combination, because none of their cards work as you would expect them to. Even if they caught it during playtesting, it isn't something they can just change. Those are the rules of Magic. It's like, that's just, you can't change that and have it. And Wicked Visitor is another one. That's at 2/2 that makes them lose a life, yes. But it is certainly not great. Wicked Visitor and Knight of Doves are certainly costed and statted as if they would work with it, and they don't. And is not great, however, is great if we draw a mountain, right? So I think we will keep it. We have a prism or a mountain, right? Because if we have a mountain, then we get a treasure for Johan. Plus, we have Not Dead After All to protect it, right? So this seems like a perfectly reasonable draw if we draw a prism or mountain or crystal grotto, of which we have, and Restless Biovac, right? So we have like 10 outs. Ruan's Grim Search is also a fine card to draw. Would draw us 2 cards, looking for a red source. Shadow of the Oath seems stronger though Not Dead After All. You could maybe make a case for that. Maybe make a case for that. Not Dead After All has synergy with a lot of our creatures though. I can put chat on the screen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about having just too many 5-drops. Yeah. Having a 1-mana tempo play, I think, can be a positive line. I don't think we want to know what they're up to with this, right? So, Gallant Pie Wielder with Season of Growth in play. Let's miss me with that. Miss me with that one. Now we have a young hero, Redcap Thief, a noble thief. Not a royal one, I guess. Sentinel? Oh, no! Uh-oh! Someone has a card that costs 1 white. Doo-dah, doo-dah. They're gonna draw 2 cards. Oh, the doo-dah day. I am in danger. Better. This would be better as Shatter the Oath here. Yeah, I guess we just have to discard a card. Second time we've had to do this, by the way. Now you might say I could leave open mana to see if they like play an aura in response, like they play like a Ferocious Werefox. They would still draw a card from this, they wouldn't draw a card from this, and I would counter the... Tangle Span Lookout is quite a magic card. They still have priority. Are you joking? Maybe I should have attacked first. I should have attacked first. Maybe even a case to be made that I should have made my Red Cap Thief for 4 or 5 and attacked for 4. Oh, their auto tapper got them. I maybe missed 4 damage there, maybe. There's a case to be made that to make Johann out of like out of graceful takedown range. There's maybe a case for that. But the problem with attacking is that it allows their Tangle Span Lookout to attack us back and get a +1/+1 counter. I maybe should have played my land last turn, actually. I'm gonna get punished for that when I draw land. No, I didn't draw land, it's alright. Do we want to upkeep for double strike? I mean, do you see why we're splashing blue for Johann, by the way? Johann is a pretty messed up magic card. I wouldn't mind drawing a second mountain. Enemy's doing some stuff, but it's a lot of 2/2s. Be dangerous if they had Imidane's Recruiter. Or a way to put counters on all their creatures, like Picnic Ruiner. But as is, we're looking... I mean, they're gonna search for whatever they need. One on top, that is not what I want to see. I guess we double strike this guy. Yeah. Okay, we're drawing a mountain next turn. I mean, that's something. That is a card that is played. They have a lot of mana. All right. I have a lot going on there. Yeah, Moonshaker Cavalry, that'll defeat us. That will defeat us. Elusive Otter would defeat us. Wow, that was really bad for us. That was extremely bad for us. Yep. That is a thing that happened. They didn't reset their Besotted Knight to draw a card. Which is, I think, kind of insane. But that's like such an insane play to me. But yeah, they can have the 1-mana 1/1 with Shade Effect. Yeah, that would be good too. Wait, didn't they destroy a card at the top? Is that not what happened? Yeah, it does all of them. Choose one or more. It does all three. Oh, maybe they thought they could only choose one instead of all three. I think that's certainly possible. Definitely not a card we wanted to draw. Taking My Nightmares has a lot of synergy with Johan. The thing is, it actually wouldn't have been like completely insane for them, as I would have killed the creature in response and this would get countered. So, and they would still draw a card, but this would be dead, and so would another creature for one of my spells. So like, it wouldn't have been completely insane for them. But it would have been good. I'm actually not sure I want to do this, but I'm not sure this 2/3 matters, but we are doing it regardless. This is frustrating. Season of Growth is such a ridiculous card. We definitely don't want this one. And honestly, we don't really want this one either. It's better than a blank. But I don't really want it. But, I mean, maybe a 3/4 is just fine on this board. I really just don't want it. What's our win condition? I have no idea. Well, that's theirs. They found their win condition. That's an aggressive attack. Oh, we boarded out the 3/3 for this guy. Look at that. Johan Synergy. Is there any chance they attack with everything here? They lose to an instant if they attack with everything. Do we want to play Candy Grapple here on the chance that the next card is an instant? Our opponent sacking this was a bit aggressive. I guess if the next card is an instant, I can upkeep it. What if sorcery is next? I think we'd actually just draw it. Okay. I will cast this one, I think. Although Hamlet Glutton is a problem. Not too much of a problem, though. I mean, not a stone blank draw, so... Oh, this goes on the bottom of our deck. I didn't even know that. Mm-hmm. Is there a reason not to bargain it? I guess I can draw Rowan's Grim Search. That's not going to be a bad draw. It's a win condition, at least. Mm-hmm. They had to have gone all through all these cards, right? They got like 4 spells left. That's a pretty good one. I mean, Johan versus Season of Growth. For sure. That's a win condition. I can maybe fire breathe them out. They have Beanstalk Worm right now, but they won't always have it. Nice. 7 cards in their deck. We've got 12. Aggressive. It is. I guess I could have waited in retrospect. Right, we've got probably I can celebrate this on my opponent's turn. Maybe could have waited. Do I want to trade this for the Beanstalk Worm? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. I mean, whatever is there, they have it. Mary Bar's the Fairy. They have a 5/4 reach in play, and I maybe want to celebrate this Godric later. It's his 2 permanents. No one said you're dumb. It's a complicated board state. Cards have a lot of text. I am actually not sure I want to play this Grim Search. I think, just going to draw it. I may not want to lose 2 live. So I have a Shatter the Oath in here, right? Yeah, there's a Shatter the Oath in my deck that I can definitely draw, but it's a sorcery. I think our plan is to deck them unless I can kill this Beanstalk Worm. I can kill it with just Grim the Search. Like, this will 100% kill it. You've got to be joking. They actually had one in their deck. This is their 2nd time through the deck. You've got to be joking. I guess I should have attacked. It was their 2nd time through the deck. I thought they just didn't have it. Wow. Well, that sucked. We could have just killed them. I could have been aggressive and killed them. 100% I could have killed them there. I should have. I just thought decking, I thought that any card that they would draw, they've already seen it and put it on the bottom. So clearly whatever they had left wasn't good enough, but apparently it wasn't. All right. I want to go into green-black instead of red. Or even just white for Grasp of Fate. Like, they have a problem beating the card Yenna. Right? They couldn't kill Johan, so they can't kill Yenna either. They have one graceful takedown and that's it. I think if they don't draw... I'm just gonna put this in as a win condition. If they don't draw a Season of Growth, then their deck just doesn't function, right? I guess they get Tanglespan Lookout on Return Triumphant. But... I know what I need. I need a swamp. I need 2 swamps. Not a swamp. Yeah, I could have been aggressive there and just killed them. Their Moonshaker Cavalry would have done nothing. I could have left them with no creatures. I could have had a Dream Thief to block the one creature they would have had left. I could have just been attacking the whole time. Well. We scryed looking for our land. We have, you know, we're playing 17 with a Prism. And a 1 mana 1/1 flyer as well. Oh, I forgot they had Icy Manipulator too. Another reason to have Grasp of Fate. We definitely need to board into white next game. If there is a next game, we need to board into white. Two on top is dangerous. Oh. That's a trade I have to make. Yeah, well, we definitely board into white-green black next round if there is one. They have 2 Raise Zeds for their Tanglespan Lookout, too. Return Triumphant and the Virtue. There's so much scry going on in their deck. Crystal Grotto, Hopeful Vigil, Stockpiling Celebrant, Season of Growth. They just... I think I have to try to get lucky. I have to try to get lucky. Any land will do it here. Except Restless Biovac, but I have to try to get lucky. No. I could have played Monstrosity there. I just don't... I don't think that's reasonable. Wow. Restless what? Restless Biovac? Biowalk? I don't know what it's called. I call it Restless Biovac. The red-white creature land. Biowalk? I just call it Biovac because I'm allowed to. Enemy just had the actual nut draw and we were mana screwed. Oh well. Their deck was certainly something. I could have won game one. I could have won game one. I could have been attacking. That's on me. That's totally on me. I missed I missed at least 4 damage early game. Probably. And then late game I could have easily come up with the last 10, so. Never beat that card. This card is completely insane. Why did I have to trade a 4/4? That was I was behind and I needed to incentivize a trade. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure what the question is. That was perhaps not the right play. I think our opponent wants to IRL F6. Okay, this card has been horrible for me. Maybe this card is worse than anything else. I should have played a land there. This is so much worse than Shatter the Oath. This Islander instead of a swamp, and then this instead of Shatter the Oath. So we have to main phase this, looking for Frantic Firebolts #2 in a swamp. So this is going to be a go into the graveyard. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Frantic Firebolt is 7. So this is not enough. So the top 2 cards need to be Swamp Front and Frantic Firebolt. Does Red Cap Thief do anything? Red Cap Thief and Conceited Witch do anything if I keep them? Can I triple block it? No. 1 point short. That doesn't do it. Yeah, this Not Dead After All has been horrendous. I mean, Fairy Fencing does mostly answer it, yeah. This Twisted Sewer Witch has been horrendous too. Cut in would not be the card to cut. I think Fairy Fencing is the same thing but better, so I just need to keep a land, so I'd mill anything that's not a land. Doing this isn't actually very useful because I want to put the Young Hero roll on it, right? Might be able to just kill him with Dream Thief, so just want to get a 4th land, right? Or Johan. I mean, yeah, this is gonna be like 2 mana, 6 damage maybe this game, 5 or 6 damage. Maybe not what they're looking for. It is 3 damage when they play Gruff Triplets. That's pretty good here. Maybe not worth playing the treasure for that one. This core roll doesn't pip strip the cards, so you actually, that's the 2 treasures it gives you are there to cast the cards that are not the colors of your deck, right? I think trading my 2/3 is totally reasonable. Doesn't get first strike or anything, right? Okay. I think just killing them is an option, right? Maybe blocking was wrong. I'm willing to believe blocking was wrong because I could have just conceded Witch on the red cap and attacked out. I think blocking was probably wrong. This lethal? Guess they're both lethal. Nice auto tapper, by the way. Left open grotto instead of a swamp. Like, hello. Hmm. Keep it like this. Gotta hope they don't draw rough triplets, and if they do, I hope to draw one of my 3 -X effects. Like, if I draw one of my -X effects, okay, I'm on the draw. I'm gonna keep this because I have a Surveil 1 coming up. So I'm like 17 lands plus a prism. So on the draw seems reasonable. We got there. Honestly, not what I'm hoping to see, actually. Our deck is just like full of Terminates. We really just don't need it. Nightmare over what? Dream Thief looks good when you have an opening hand every game. Well, it's just a good recipient for the Young Hero role. It's also a way that you can play 17 lands and still like be able to keep 1 or 2 land hands because you have Fairy Dream Thief, right? So do we want to play Conceited Witch or do we want to play Redcap Thief? Odds are they are probably not going to be able to attack a Redcap Thief if they play... I guess if they play a 4-mana 4/3, like maybe I can just put the Young Hero roll on Redcap Thief. Maybe. Alright. So we could put the Young Hero roll on Redcap Thief. I think that's actually reasonable here. We can marry Bards to put it on this later, right? I would cut a Witch. I would not cut a Witch. Witch is an above statted card that lets you like brawl with green decks. It's a 3/4 for 4. Do I have any hot takes on how rolls are designed? No. I draw a land, they're done. They play Grow Triplets. Not bad. Pretty good draw. Is there any way we don't attack with Fairy Dream Thief? I think we don't attack with Fairy Dream Thief. There's a lot of cards that kill us. Twisted Fealty is one. 4/4 Haster is one. We know we know they have the Bellowing Bruiser in their deck. So the 2 and a red, 4 and a red card. We know it's in their deck. So I think this is lethal. Yeah, Twisted Fealty and 4/4 Haster were both lethal if we attack there. Impact Tremors almost killed us, so. Alright. I'm gonna take a quick break here, we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Somebody suggested I try looking at white instead of black. And I don't think it's better. I don't think it's better. I like the Princess Takes Flight stockpiling Celebrant thing is like not something I think I need to have. Also, it adds just another layer of. It gives me some like cantripping 3/2s, right? Because we do have Hopeful Vigil and Prophetic Prism. It does give us some cantripping 3/2s, which I'm not against. It also gives us like Unassuming Sage, which is probably much better than Monstrosity. We get Grasp of Fate, which is something, but not great. We get Dutiful Griffin and Charmed Clothier, which are almost certainly better than Twisted Sewer Witch, although it's probably not better than Scream Puff. Scream Puff's better than both of those, I think. The creature land is not, I don't think, relevant. I think it's good either way. Our mana becomes worse because we need to play an island and a forest, I think. Mana is a little bit worse if we want to play these two. Which we certainly would want to do, because Yenna has some synergy with Grasp of Fate and Princess Takes Flight and Hopeful Vigil, and there's lots of synergy, right? I think we can try it out. We've already tried the black. We can try this out. Maybe there's something to learn here. We have a lot of double whites, not a lot of double reds. Only one double red. Cantripping 3/2s I'm in the business of doing. I'm interested in that. I mean, the Twisted Sewer Witch is terrible, so I'm certainly in the business of not having that card in my deck. Holy moly. I did not think our opponent was going to go 1, 2, 3 on the play. Okay. Didn't attack with a warehouse stabby first. Maybe they were afraid I'd block. Certainly something I'd be interested in doing. Hmm. Interesting. What can we do with this? This is an aggressive attack. I'll freely admit it. We're trying to rope him in. Can we rope him in? Mm-hmm. We roped him on in. Ah. The ideal... Yeah, gosh. Probably just want to attack for 3. And just EOT this Ratcatcher trainee. Yep. Yeah, Godric is... Well, it's not very funny because he's like a young hero that doesn't get the counter, right? Because you're celebrate because you put 2 permanents into play with Godric. Good block. Pumps their vermin. I like it. I think we're probably going to blow up the flyer here. Yeah, we are definitely gonna blow up the flyer here. I think Godric Prism attack, maybe? You go to 10, this is... Don't want Celebration because I want them to block. That seems reasonable. I'll keep that one. It's better to use blue. It's better to use blue than that. My Godric already has double strike, so don't have to worry about that one. Did our white cards do anything that game? They did actual nothing, right? Oh, we charm Clothier at the end. Our white cards didn't do anything that game. Well, it was Johan and company. It was Johan soloing our opponent. The white cards were there for the ride. Let's try the white cards again, I guess. Should I play this guide over Return Triumphant? Probably should. That 2/3 has actually impressed me. That 2/3 flyer. Like, my expectations were extremely low on the 3 and a white 2/3 flyer. They were extremely low. But it actually exceeded them. So, I think it's actually just an okay card. The lifelink is very relevant. And you can usually trigger it once or twice. So, like a 4-mana 2/3 that like maybe does 7 life and gains 7 life and deals 7. It's kind of how the way it turns out. Because they can like get the young hero roll, right? It's like a reasonable young hero holder. It's not good. Just trust me, it is not a good card. But our opponent showed us Griffin Eyrie. Right? Our opponent showed us Griffin Eyrie, so a 2/3 flyer is a reasonable card, period. Right? And I think it actually might be reasonable in this deck. So. Especially since Yenna gives you infinite celebration. So So that's something relevant as well. This card I have not been impressed with. It's actually deceptively hard to use. We just want to play our Merry Bards. Play Merry Bards. They untap, play a creature. I frenzy it. Attack. I think I just play it. I think I've got plays for the next 4 turns. I mean... how aggressive is that? That's pretty aggressive. Is it wrong? I don't think it's wrong. All right. Oh, look at that combo. Whoa, I haven't seen that one. There's a case to be made to put the counter on the Merry Bards was a double because of this. I didn't think about it. Mm-hmm. We are so screwed if they have any way to pump their Hamlet Glutton. They have that Royal Treatment card, I am doomed. I don't think I want either of these. They must not have it in their deck. They could have looted looking for it, so they must not have it, period, in their deck. I guess I just do this now, then. Huh. Slightly punished for not putting the counter on the Merry Bards, because now I don't have lethal next turn. Although I guess I do have lethal if I draw a land. No! Damn, dude. Punished for main phase of my Frantic Firebolt, I guess. But the thing is, they would have put the counter on the creature, but I guess it would have been a... Oh, it wouldn't have been a 4/4. I thought it was going to be a 4/4. These are treasures, not foods. I thought it was going to be a 4/4, but they sacked a food for this instead of a treasure. So I thought, like, I need to kill the thing anyways. I might as well do it now so they can't, like, pump it with, like, a monstrous roll in response. Okay, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. definitely a mistake there. That's all right. They didn't play the Red Tooth Vanguard. Why not? Do I pass here? I can't just pass, right? Why didn't they play the Red Tooth Vanguard? They'd rather die? Oh, they go to 1. Alright, fair enough. I thought I was killing them. I guess I can't do math. Obviously, I should have killed the spellbook vendor. I thought that was lethal. I just like literally can't do math. Oh, because I got caught up in that talk earlier about I got caught up in that talk about putting the counter on the Mary Bards earlier. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm clearly like it obviously it's fine because I have this, but. Yeah, that was bad. I'll agree that was bad. Got that one out of the way. One more to go. The white might be better just because it gives me Hopeful Vigil, which is like a reasonable 2-drop. And the question is, do we want Return Triumphant or do we want like the flyer? I actually think we want the flyer. Although Return Triumphant is like reasonable in this deck. I just don't have a lot of hits for it. And I could use a life gain probably in the flyer in condition. There's only a couple of good targets. I mean, Red Cat Thief is an okay target. But at the end of the day, is like Return Triumphant gonna rot in our hand and not be able to be a proactive 4-drop? Not to mention it doesn't gain life like the 4-drop does. Not that the 4-drop gains life very often, but it does a non-zero amount of the time. I'm not playing, I think is this the deck that had Belligerent of the Ball and I'm not playing it? I think that's true. The 2 and a red 3/3. This is not an aggro deck, I don't think, right? Maybe it was wrong to, maybe it's wrong to not have it. Maybe it's insane to play the flyer instead of the 3/3. I just feel like the 3/3 is just gonna be a 3/3 a vast majority of the time. Whereas the Veil, the baseline is like, I'd rather have a 2/3 flyer than a 3/3 ground guy anyway. And the upside of potentially just winning the game is I have lifelink. Hey, Mordot, thanks for the prime. How many spreading seas are needed for a good deck? 0. I don't have a spreading seas in this deck, and it's a good deck. This deck could have really used Evolving Wilds. Maybe Grotto is actually just better than Evolving Wilds. It kind of sort of has been at most games. Hey, is this better than Return Triumphant here? Probably not. Oh, it probably is, rather. Probably is better than Return Triumphant. Well. No one plays Scarecrow Guide and doesn't mean it, right? So. Besides, I got nothing going on. I need to play the Stockpiling Celebrant just to scry to some lines anyway. The amount of Spreading Seas that you should want to play is based on bargaining it in a way. If your goal is to mana screw your opponent, that's only going to work if you see your opponent has Utopia Sprawl. Because it does kill Utopia Sprawl. I think if your opponent doesn't have Utopia Sprawl, you should probably not consider it. Ooh, boy. Okay. First time playing against that card. I'll take action. Oh, an island, you say? An island for our Johann when we have Mana Flare, you say? That has historically been the problem with Mana Flare, is that your opponent gets to use the mana first. However, if you have Expel the Interlopers in your deck, you can just rope them right on in. Cast Mana Flare like, oh, I'm a big dum-dum, I cast Mana Flare. Oh, thanks, I'll just empty my hand. Oh, untap, kill all your creatures. Like, oh, yeah, okay, got me. Got me good. I like it. I like it. Grotto, synergy with Johann. I don't like the card on top, I can scry it away. Heck yeah. You think we should have chump checked there? I have faith in my opponent to block my 3-2 with their 0-4. I think you're right, we could have chump checked them. But oh, we can Celebrant into Celebrant because we have Mana Flare. You're right. With Johann in play? That is quite a maneuver. That is quite a maneuver. Uh-oh. That's actually dangerous when they have Mana Flare out. Well, like, what if they just go, like, island into the Fate Court? We're just doomed, right? They don't even need an island. They have Crystal Grotto. That's dangerous. Godric, you say? Well, with Mana Flare, Godric does have a lot of things going on. I think it's... Gosh. What if they just have, like, a Light Blades and just kill my Johann? I'm pretty sad, right? Is it worth attacking for 2 damage? I guess if they have to sack a permanent. I don't know if I want to play Celebrants here, because if they kill our Celebrants, then our Princess Takes Flight is stranded. But I think they would have killed it if they could have there. I mean, I guess we keep going. Alright, I like that one. Certainly an amusing board state. We could have gained 3 life there, but we'd have lost 2 damage, because then Johan wouldn't have been able to get in there. We'll lost 1 damage, gain 3 life. Maybe it was worth it to gain 3 life there, actually. Do 1 less damage. But we also made sure that they didn't have a removal spell for our stockpiling Celebrant when we attacked first. I think it was probably right. This is... Are we like Song to Totentaz and I'm just dead? They could go, like, this is a losable board state, by the way. Like, you gotta believe they're playing Mana Floor for a reason, right? They gotta have some sort of X spell. Or Moonshaker Cavalry. Or Imadane's Recruiter, right? I mean... Well, maybe they needed the colored mana from this. I mean, I guess they had Crystal Grotto already. Oh my goodness. This is so much damage I'm taking. They didn't cast the Knight. That does not bode well. It actually left open fire breathing, which I didn't expect it to do. Oh boy, get out of here. Yeah, okay. Scarecrow guy does have reach, but our guy's a 4/4 lifelink. See, this impressive. Better than Return Triumphant, right? Impressive. Admit it. Chat, you need to admit it. You need to admit. You need to admit it when you're wrong. You have to admit. 4/4 lifelinking. Reasonable card. It's just a Baneslayer. It's no big deal. It's pretty good against Mana Flayer opponents. Look, friend. Look. I had 6 mana. It would have happened even if I didn't have Mana Flayer. How dare you? How dare you? Actually, it wouldn't have because I didn't have double red. Not relevant. Not relevant. What's the big finish here? They've been using these on. They've been leaving open red mana this whole time. What is it? What you got for me? What can it be? This creature had reach. So they could have like blocked and used like the dwarf if they had it. They chose to kill Baneslayer over Godric? A bold play. Doing this on our upkeep. Unfortunately, our mana empties, so we can't float it into fire breathing this fellow. So maybe we just... take care of this catapult. This unruly catapult. There's maybe a case to be made that we want the +2 for flying next turn. Maybe. I go to 1 here. Mid-range recruiter doesn't kill us. That's 9. Song of Totentaz is not quite lethal either. Gnawing Crescendo in Song of Totentaz. That's kind of sick with Mana Flare. Like, use all your mana and then bounces so your opponent doesn't get it. That's kind of cool. But now they're a mana short. Can't replay it. Wouldn't be quite enough either because they're at 1 life and these things can't block. So they have 3 attackers versus 2 blockers. So they were doomed regardless. Doomed. Oh, I just realized the synergy between Unassuming Sage and Stockpiling Celebrant. That is certainly in our deck. I don't hate Archon's Glory, but I don't think we need a combat trick. Dutiful Griffin is suspicious, but at the end of the day, it is a 4/4 for 5, 4/4 flyer. Air Elemental. Air Elemental that can probably come back to my hand later on. I don't think I've actually ever seen it happen in this format. I don't think I've ever seen someone return Dutiful Griffin from the graveyard to the hand. The card would be ridiculous if it actually returned it to play instead of hand. But sacking 2 enchantments and paying 3 mana to put it into play would be sick. That would be like a top tier uncommon if it had that. Does it come into play? It doesn't actually come into play, right? Yeah, it goes to hand. It's like, no way it actually goes to play. That card would be actually good. I'd play it. Yeah, returned it to your hand. It does come back to your hand. People would just play Dutiful Griffin if it put it into play, for sure. That's a steal. You can like loot it away or like mill it and just put it into play for 3 mana later. Heck yeah, you'd play that card. You have to wonder that maybe there was a version of that card that did do that. I think, what if it was 2 and a white, sacrifice 3 enchantments, put it directly into play from your graveyard. Sorcery speed only. Or maybe instant speed if they want to make it come into play tapped. I think that card would be legit. Because it would be an outlet for you to sacrifice all your enchantments in a white-black sacrifice deck, right? Because you have all those cards that key off enchantments dying. But you have no, like, way to just do it. And that would be a way to do it, right? That card I think would actually be good. If it was sack 3 enchantments, put it directly into play tapped. I guess we play Mountain in case they go 2 more Ginger Brutes. Or Harried Spearguard and Ginger Brutes. The beatdowns are relentless. They will continue until morale improves. I would enjoy a Mana Flare. Ouchie. Not a fan of that. I can use bargain for this thing, right? So it's better to hold on to it. So in all likelihood, I'm just gonna kill that thing, right? It is here! Boy, we found our stockpiling. I guess stockpiling, so I'm just gonna return this. Our second red for Godric. It is here. We drew both the island and the forest. Oh? Do we do it, chat? Do we just return this? Give our opponent the what for? I think we do. I think we do. Because we also get Celebration this turn. The Spew. I'll take action. I'm a taker of actions. I've been told that an action or 2 is in my range. Oh, this is Celebration, baby. 2 permanents. Oh, it's also 4 mana. We get to double Fire Breathe. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Okay, actually, it's way better to do it the other way, right? This is just better. Get out of here. Maybe the white was better, having played with it. Because the problem with the black version is that we were lacking a win condition. You saw against that Season of Growth player that we actually just like couldn't win the game. Like our opponent just had like 4 creatures, and we just like it was so hard to attack because all of our cards were sucking at attacking. We got a bunch more Terminates, but Terminates don't win games because this format has a ton of ways to draw 2 cards, and you cannot run out of gas in this format. You just like people don't end the game with no cards in hand and like no plays to make with their extra mana. That just doesn't happen. There's just that happens like what, 1 out of 10 games, maybe, right? Not even, probably fewer than 1 in 10 games end that way. It's so much more likely that games end with players having spells on their hand. So the cool thing about the white deck is that stockpiling Celebrant works really well with Johan and setting up like more card advantage that way. It also gave us flyers. It also gave us a reasonable 2-drop. It also gave us card advantage, which black did not really give us. We had Rowan's Grim Search and nothing else for card advantage in black. Like we had some like, things that made 2 permanents, like the witch, but I wanted to just like straight up draw 2 cards. And you can actually do that with white. With Prophetic Prism and stockpiling Celebrant. And plus, we got to play Yenna, which is another rare. And I'm all about playing more rares. Although, Johan just like soloed every game it was in, right? If we are learning anything at all, is that even if you just have no blue cards, you should probably be splashing for Johan if you have the opportunity to do so. Yeah. So I think the white was slightly better, but it also gave us Grasp of Fate, which never came up, but maybe we can kill like things like Season of Growth. More scrying, more ways to draw cards. I'll take it. Yeah, black did have Sphage, that's true. Our mana was actually good enough to support this too, this nonsense, because we had 2 duels, and a Prism, and a Redcap Thief, which actually we used Redcap Thief for our off color a lot, didn't we? Yeah, Johan's just really, really good in the format. So this deck looked pretty good. Not like, obviously it has some stinkers. It's got like, Unassuming Sage. I mean, Charmed Clothier, Dutiful Griffin, Toonvale Guide. Look, it has some stinkers. But, I think, it's reasonable. Yeah. Yeah, like if we didn't have Prophetic Prism and stuff, like we could have easily just gone red-black Terminates and had like an okay deck. But this was probably the better course of action. It's entirely possible that Return Triumphant is better than one of these cards. Because it's also a spell for Johan. It's also like an aura for Yenna, right? And it's also a way to return stockpiling Celebrant to bounce Princess Takes Flight. So in all honesty, Return Triumphant is probably better than one of those cards I just mentioned. It's probably better than one of these 3. Return Triumphant I think it has too much synergy in the deck. But you can return Merry Bards to get another Young Hero roll, right? Have another like X4 creature. I'm not so sure Archon's Glory. I don't think you want to play Archon's Glory when you have a ton of Terminates like this deck has. This deck has like a million Terminates. It's also a spell for Frantic Firebolt, which we actually needed more spells for that, right? So, I definitely think we should have played Return Triumphant. I don't know over what, but we definitely should have played it. Yeah, deck was good. Restless Biovac. We didn't get to... This pool didn't have the combos. So if you're not familiar... If you read what this card says, it says, whenever this card attacks, the last line, put a counter on target creature you control. You'll note that unlike Raging Ravine, which is similar to this card but different, unlike that card, the attack trigger is independent of the activate trigger, the activate ability rather. So on the old Raging Ravine, the red-green land, you could pay 8 mana to get that ability twice. So when it attacks, it puts 2 counters, right? A lot of the creature lands are templated in that way, that you can just pay, you can like pay multiple mana to use the ability multiple times. These are not. However, the benefit of these is that if you animate these lands in a different way, like, we don't have it in our pool, but Brave the Wilds, like the 1 green bargain card that you can make a creature a 3/3. If you animate these creature lands, they get that attack trigger. So the creature lands are completely bananas in green decks, because Brave the Wilds is a common. You can easily get one in a draft if you want one. Even if you're a green-blue deck, it is probably reasonable to just, if you see a white-black creature land, to just take it and play it in your deck. Because when you animate it, now the white-black one or the red-white one or whatever one that's off color, you still get the attack trigger, which is completely insane. Yeah, and the blue-green one is bananas, right? Because the blue-green one makes another creature a 3/3, which you can choose your creature or enemy creatures, right? So, like, that's cool. It didn't come up in this particular pool, but keep an eye on that. The creature lands are actually phenomenal opens in this format. They really are. All the creature lands are really, really good. And even if your only way to activate it is a Crystal Grotto or a Prism, you should almost always be playing them. So that's something to have a look out for in this format. And other than that, try to be more aggressive. If you could afford to be aggressive, you should try to be aggressive. That's something I definitely was punished for when I was playing the red-black deck. I was definitely not nearly as aggressive as I should have been. You know, it actually came up a ton in this particular sealed that enemies and ourselves, but enemies mostly, they main phased their instant speed role creators. And it was really smart of them to do so. Because what I've been doing the whole day, if you watched my draft earlier, it happened a ton too. And it happened against that green-white player like, what, 3 or 4 times? Where, so the way the adventure creatures work, like this is an example of one. So I play Price of Beauty and I target one of my creatures. If my opponent kills that creature in response, Price of Beauty is countered. I don't know if it's actually technically countered. But for all intents and purposes, it's countered, and it doesn't go on an adventure, so you don't get to have a 3-mana, 2/3 menace at the end. All the roles work like that. All the role creatures work like that. So, if your opponent is tapped out, and you know you're going to do it anyways, it is often correct to just do it on your main phase. Just because your card is an instant. This one's a sorcery. But the green one, Ferocious Werefox, is an instant. Where is that? I have that one. This is an instant. Many of my opponents were just main phasing this, which is often correct. Something to keep in mind for sure. And I've been wanting to try this card out. This isn't the deck for it, but like my white-green opponent earlier, this would have been insane in their deck. But yeah, that white-green opponent that I lost to earlier, their deck was completely insane. It's like Season of Growth. If you've learned anything from watching this stream, you should learn that Season of Growth is a bananas card in sealed and in draft. And we just got like soloed by, and as long as you have like an overall game plan in mind, it is a phenomenal card. That my opponent had not only a ton of role creatures, but they also had Edgewall in to get one back, right? They had Edgewall in, and they had Moonshaker Cavalry to draw to, right? So, anyways. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to drop me a follow in Twitch or Twitter or YouTube. And this is Michael Jacob at twitch.tv/darkest_mage. Thanks for watching.